Hi YouTube, Bane666 here. Recently I was catching up with a good friend over a couple of beers at a local pub. And when I went to use the toilet, I found this little gem next to the hand dryer. I was both shocked and offended. An ad addressing men's mental health, basically saying that we need to think less about our dicks, and more about our brains, as if men are only capable of thinking with their dicks. So the next day I looked up the website and found this.
A man has his own way of doing things. A man has his own way of eating, of exercising, of keeping his hands warm, and filing stuff. The other filing. So when a man faces the serious stuff life chucks at him, like stress, anger, difficulty sleeping, drinking too much, or sadness, shouldn't a man have a way to deal with that too? Well, now he does. I'm Dr. Brian Ironwood. Visit me at mantherapy.org.au.
I soon discovered that this is an Aussie version of an American campaign.
Greetings, friends. I'm Dr. Rich Mahogany. With the help of Cactus, a dipshit ad agency, I created a man's mental health campaign called Man Therapy. So open your ear holes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it.
I do understand the usefulness of using humor when dealing with serious topics. It's something I use often myself. But I just have to wonder if this is not just more homerification of masculinity, homerification, the portrayal of males and masculinity in the media as nothing more than moronic slobs, incapable of thinking of anything apart from sex or sports, and unable to complete the simplest tasks without the assistance of an attractive and intelligent woman.
Hey, Mom! What are you doing? What is that? What is this?
It's a special paste I invented to replace socks. We're dipping our feet in it.
Why?
Because we can't find socks that shape to our feet. We're sick of it.
Sick of it.
That's really stupid.
So, Antonio.
Tony, actually.
I notice you look nothing like your online dating profile.
Oh, really?
In it you have long blonde hair.
I haven't updated my pic for a while.
And where do you surf?
I don't know.
And you're into yoga.
Yoda. Do you know who he is?
Yep.
But I do see it now that the men I know who live alone generally live like slobs. It's appalling, and kind of no matter how old they are, and women are. So it's not to say that women are neater or cleaner, but we do seem to live better.
Hey Wayne, I'm Common Sense. What is all of this?
Oh, it's something I invented. It allows me to watch TV everywhere I go.
Wayne, why don't you just get new TV everywhere from Cable One? Many of the shows and movies you watch at home are now streaming right to your laptop, tablet, and smartphone.
Yeah, that sounds great.
It's just common sense.
I do not know if anyone has coined the phrase homerification before, but they have now. I think the homerification of masculinity is a major issue in modern Western society. It destroys positive male role models for young men and children. I admit that there are men who only think with their dicks, or are obsessed with nothing other than sport, or are lazy slobs, but they do not make up the entirety of the male population. Of course, there is another stereotype that men are often portrayed as creepification, the belief that men by nature are violent, perverted and sexual predators, the portrayal of males and masculinity in the media as pedophiles, rapists and violent thugs, while deliberately ignoring the possibility of these traits in females. I do not know if anyone has coined the phrase creepification before, but they have now. Should we as men have our masculinity stereotyped by homerification and creepification? Should we be limited in this way?
Don't be alarmed, but there are more important things to being a man than climbing mountains, setting stuff on fire, and growing hair on your chest. Oh no. It's true. One of the manliest things a man can do is talk about what's going on up there in the old brain box. Hello, I'm Dr. Brian Ironwood. Visit me at mantherapy.org.au or follow me here on this Twitter thingy. My advice will put some hair on your brain, which is exactly where you need it.
I do think there are some positives here. I think it is good that we are talking about men's mental health, and the website does contain some very good information. So maybe this is a good way to reach men, maybe it's a good way to get men talking about their problems. But then again,
a man has his own way of doing things. A man has his own way of relaxing, preparing a meal, cleaning up, and hiding stuff. But when a man faces the serious things life chucks at him, like stress, anger, difficulty sleeping, drinking too much, or sadness, shouldn't a man have a way to deal with that too? Well, now he does. I'm Dr. Brian Ironwood. Visit me at mantherapy.org.au.
But then again, maybe it's not. Let's compare it to another local campaign. This one is for male victims of domestic abuse. It's called the 1 in 3 campaign.
I said to my now ex, can I have some money to get the boys some presents? And she turned around and said that a real man wouldn't be begging his wife for money, he'd be out earning his own instead of being a lazy cunt. She'd turn around and punch me in the head in front of a young bloke. She came in and was just verbally assaulting me. I ended up in a fetal position, sucking my thumb on the shower floor, just screaming inside, I can't handle this. And she was saying, you might have a doctor's fooled, but you haven't got me fooled. There's nothing wrong with you. There's never been anything wrong with you. I was ostracised from family and friends. I was constantly told that even my own family didn't want anything to do with me because I was mentally ill. I just turned around and I looked to see if there was a truck coming down the road because I would have just jumped in front of that truck. A lot of shame. There was a lot of numbness. I went through a lot of depression. Rang up the Department of Community Services and I was told by a woman on the end of the phone, sorry, I don't believe you because only men abuse women. You don't fit into any of our programs, we need you to do an anger management course. And I said, my ex spat at me, she threatened me with knives, she bit me, she punched me, she withheld money, she verbally abused me, and you're telling me I need to do an anger management course. It's hard to admit that you're in an abusive situation to begin with, because society says that females don't abuse men. And it took me a long, long time to even admit to myself that I was a victim of abuse. I became homeless because of abuse. I had nowhere to go. So when I ring up the government services, no, we don't believe you. When I told other people, they'd say, no, I don't believe you. And you know, the best thing that you could ever say to someone when they tell the story is just say, I believe you.
I'd try to barricade myself into a room or into a space. And whilst in there, the violence would continue out into the lounge room, where all my stuff would get smashed or broken. There'd be repeated sort of kicking and smashing on the door. And it just kept on developing and growing. The isolation was probably the hardest thing to deal with. Not actually having anybody else to talk to about it. Not knowing what to do with the situation. It left me feeling very vulnerable and very confused. It seemed to contradict everything else that I knew about myself as a male, but I didn't know what to do with those emotions and where to take them and who to talk to. When we're left to our own devices and we're left to our own thought patterns, I think we come up with all sorts of justifications for the behaviour at hand, and potentially they're not always correct.
Did you at any point try to talk to someone about what was going on, or seek help in some way?
Sure, no, never. I was too embarrassed, without a doubt. All of those stereotypes of, you know, you're a male, you're physically stronger, we don't understand the scenario, You know, you should be able to overpower that person. You know, you should be able to stop that person. I just couldn't find anybody that I feel like I could have trusted with that information. And definitely not any of my friends or family. Yeah, and there definitely wasn't any services around to provide any sort of assistance like that. But it's definitely had a profound impact on myself and the way that I view myself and my relationships now. Even my current relationship, there's no violence, nor has there ever been any violence. But I'll still put tins of paint or bottles or something like that in front of a door, so when I'm laying down having a sleep, I can hear if somebody else is coming into the room. I think the social stigma's got to be removed. I think if probably more people stood up and actually spoke about it, and I think if we realise that it is actually more of a problem in our society than we choose to acknowledge, I think more and more individuals would feel safer to step up and actually to talk about their scenario.
I will put links to both campaigns below. But now a couple of questions for you guys to answer and comment on. 1. What did you think of both campaigns, and their approach to getting their message across? And 2. What do you think would be an effective campaign for men's mental health, or other men's issues?
Hi, my name is Dr. Darla. And when I am like, not like, you know, shopping, or doing makeup, or like, shopping, or you know, girly stuff like that, then I like, work as a doctor-cologist of mental health. So if you know, like, if you are like, depressed cause you're fat, or like, some cute guy, like, totally won't go out with you, like, oh my god, you should like totally check out my website called Femme Therapy. Cause I like talk about shopping, and fashion, and like you know, like why you're depressed. Like, we all know it's the patriarchy, right?